A mixture simply named on dark mirrors, watch faces shine, and women with star-spangled hearts set faithfully in rows, bent to help the boys entrenched stave off those dark shadows.
Irene, what are you doing?
Quiet.
Where's Louise? She's working inspections today. Is that bad?
Not for us.
She's gonna be sitting in the dark room by Dr. Von Shoshaki's office. Sitting in the dark, checking dials.
Poor thing.
Poor thing.
So we're gonna give her a surprise.
Boo! Like the Cheshire Cat. Won't that make her mad? Let her get mad.
That's half the fun.
I don't want to make her mad.
Ain't like Louise don't deserve it. She paints more dials than any other girl on the floor, and can't be bothered to talk to nobody either. You say, "Hey, Louise, what's new?" and she just looks at you funny.
Well, I don't think she can speak much English.
It wouldn't kill her to smile, would it?
Oops. Mrs. McNeil? Paint your faces. Have you gone off your mind?
It was just a joke.
Just a joke? A joke like that can cost a girl her job. Now, Miss McNeil. I'm sure that's not necessary. I don't tolerate no foolishness, Doctor. Yeah, foolishness we don't want. Mr. Rhoda, this is where all the dials are painted. And here are some other girls that work here. Girls, this is Mr. Rhoda, my new vice president and your new branch manager. And I was just telling Mr. Rhoda what a fine bunch of girls we have here. I'm sure now he must think I'm halfway out of my mind. Mr. Rhoda, perhaps you have some words for the girls? Mr. McNeil.
Well, girls, this paint you've been playing with, it's very expensive. You realize this. It takes several tons of ore to produce a single gram of radium. That's a lot of work. Hard work for the men in the extraction plant. But they do this work gladly. Do you understand why? Why they work so hard? What we're working for?
The war?
That's right. The war. The dials you paint save lives, girls. Our boys in the field depend on them to read them in the dark. No mistaking what they see. Otherwise, some of those boys won't be coming home. So, girls, if you play around and don't take the work seriously, well, then you're playing into the hands of the opponent. And we don't want that, do we?
No, sir.
So, let's get back to work and leave the tomfoolery to home.
Mr. Roder, I just wanted to say, I'm sorry. I won't go do nothing like this ever again.
Well, dear, just keep this in mind. If you do right by us, we'll do right by you.
You should have seen it, Grace. The church was filled with flowers, lilies, carnations, orchids. You know how Amelia loved orchids.
Those were flag irises.
Orchids.
Flag.
I know an orchid when I see one, Irene. Purple orchids. Oh, and that smell, it was like flowers? Well, like heaven, I was gonna say.
Heaven? Catherine, it was a funeral. You make it out like it was some kind of Valentino picture.
It wasn't just any funeral, it was Amelia's, and it was beautiful, just like she was.
Surprised you wasn't there, Grace. What happened?
Mom had to work after all, so I had the kids. Girls, the whistle's already blown. Now then, I've received new instructions today. We're going back to the old way of pointing the brushes. We was losing too much paint on the dial, on the cloth. But Dr. Von Shoshaky told me not to do that a few months ago. He said he used these cloths. Nonsense. The man invented the paint. It's not for us to be asking questions, girls. It's for us to do the work. Lip, dip, paint. It's not for us to be asking questions.
Here's an idea. you, McNeil. Let some starch out of your corset.
Was she at the service?
McNeil, are you kidding?
Dr. Von Shoshaki was, though, and even Mr. Roder.
Yes, even the company president paid his respects.
Oh, Grace, you remember that fella from Crystallizing? What's his name? The one with the red hair. The tall one?
Jerry.
George.
It's Jerry Malone. He was always talking to Amelia at the break.
Grace, when the mass was over, he goes over to the coffin, like this. And he goes, really? Really?
So what if he did?
He was in love with her, that's what. Can you imagine? If he loved her, and he never told her, and now it's too late and he'll never get the chance. Poor Amelia. Poor Amelia.
Poor kid.
Her family took it awful bad. Every one of them crying. Her father was just bawling like a baby.
And you know why?
His daughter died so young.
What she died from.
Don't go spreading stories.
Not a story. Her sister told us. No reason Grace should know.
No what? What? Amelia?
Her father's fits the tide too. 6 girls at home and none of them ever going to a dance again. All because Amelia up and died of syphilis. Guess there were things even we didn't know about her.
Irene? Are you alright?
Sure, I'm alright. Why wouldn't I?
Your mouth is bleeding. Radium, glowing like a good deed in a naughty world. Radium cosmetics, soaps, powders, and rouges for the most glamorous women. Radium toothpaste, a brighter smile with every brushing.
Gentlemen, we stand today at the threshold of a new era, an era of ingenuity, an era of possibility, marked by the marriage of commerce and science. Radium, my friends, is the fruit of that marriage. And like the automobile before it, like the telephone and the telegraph, this miracle element began as novelty and is now a necessity of daily life. Luminous watches, luminous dials, these were the agents of victory in Europe. Now, radium will be the agent of a new victory over cancer. And as your new company president, I can attest, the U.S. Radium Corporation will once again be the front runners of this battle. To our founder, Dr. Von Shoshaki. Miss Wiley, what a nice surprise. Mr. Charlie Lee and Mr. Dan Lehman. You remember Miss Wiley of the Consumers League.
Gentlemen,
Of course, Miss Wiley was a valued partner in last spring's laundry crisis. No more complaints, I hope.
that issue's been resolved.
Ought to be. We spent a lot of money on those filters.
I'm here in another matter.
Your letter. This is not the best time, Miss Wiley.
I was hoping you would answer the immediate question, Mr. Roder.
I'll answer it. There's no white phosphorus in the paint, Miss Wiley.
Then how do you explain the bow decay in her jaw?
This is one of our girls that we're talking about.
Former employee. Left us about 2 years ago.
She's too ill to work with her.
I'm sorry to hear that.
We're consulting with the Harvard School of Industrial Medicine.
Meet Dr. Draper. Chair of our league is a coworker of his. Thank you.
Have some cake, Miss Wiley. Whatever the trouble, can't be anything out of the plan.
Keep smiling, Charlie. Radium, the most valuable substance on Earth, at $100,000 for a single gram.
Radithor, a cure for all illnesses, including arthritis, neuritis, and other ailments. Sign up today. You could be in the top 5% of female wage earners in America today at the U.S. Radium Corporation.
house full of kids. You'll thank God for every penny you put by.
We got enough money to get married on.
Don't take much to get married, but do you have enough to stay married?
You let us get married. We'll find out.
You still eating, Tom?
It's good.
You're gonna get fat. Gotta keep the strength up. He works hard for his money. Don't start, Mom. I didn't say anything. Was your father who put the roof over it? Most girls give their eye teeth for a job like that. Mom, good money, easy work, nice looking fellas around the plant.
You didn't tell me about the 10th grades.
And she quits the place. Tired of it, she says. Are you tired of the paycheck? I says. Who needs a paycheck? She says. I got a boyfriend to take me out on Saturdays.
Wait, she said that?
Oh, you know I didn't. And for your information, I got another job. I started the bank on Monday.
And what's it pay?
Enough?
Enough. Don't come close to what they paid at the radium plant. And office work. Guess that means spending more money on clothes.
I thought you liked that at the radium plant. Game on the radium dials, all you girls doing important work.
Sure, but I've been up there 4 years.
Grace, I've been delivering mail 8 years. I'm planning to do it for another 20, 30 years, if I'm lucky. Steady one cups of soup at night, Grace.
Close your eyes.
What for?
I got a surprise for you.
You want me to close the shades?
Not that kind of surprise. Close your eyes. Now look,
Wallpaper?
for the baby's room.
Baby's room? You won't even kiss me and you're talking about babies?
Well, there's gonna be babies eventually, Tommy.
Well, sure. But, you know, Grace, most girls, they get married before they decorate the nursery.
Plan ahead for once. Pick one.
They're the same.
Oh, no, they're not. This one has big flowers and this one has little flowers. So pick one.
Is some kind of test?
It's wallpaper.
It is some kind of test.
Pick one, Tommy.
This one.
Really?
The other one.
This one is pretty, don't you think?
You like it, I like it.
Well, you gotta pick something you can stand to look at for 20 years.
Same way you pick women.
Keep it up, smarty pants. You'll never get that kiss.
Okay. This one. Hands down.
I like it too. A nice neutral yellow goes either a boy or a girl. And until the baby comes, we could use the room for other things.
Like what?
Like a painting studio, maybe.
Painting studio. Did you get enough painting at the radium plant?
Not that kind. Watercolors. Or oils, maybe. Maybe portraits in oils. I can paint your picture if you'd like.
Why not? Paint a picture of me. We'll hang out in the outhouse. All our friends will come around and use a can just to look at it.
Oh, the way you talk sometimes.
Grace, if you want to paint. I ain't gonna stop. Is your mouth hurting again?
The dentist wants to pull another tooth in the back.
What's a little too?
The power of radium is at your disposal. 23 years ago, radium was unknown. Today, thanks to constant laboratory work, the power of this most unusual element is at your disposal. Does Undark really contain radium? Most assuredly. It serves you safely and securely. Harry, you get down from that tree and sit a moment with your father.
She's 8 years old, Diane.
I'm trying to raise a daughter, not a son.
Time is on your side. In another year or two, she'll lose all interest in trees and develop a fascination with boys.
That's supposed to scare me?
And when that day comes, you'll be frantic because she no longer wants to climb trees.
What's this?
Something to give you vitality.
You think I need vitality?
That's what it says on the bottle.
Is it pure?
We're the supplier. Want to try it?
If it will give me vitality, how can I refuse?
Love being married to the company president.
It has its advantages.
Do you ever think to trade it in?
Do you?
I had my shoes shined this morning. While I sat there and watched the boy work, I thought, this is quite the enterprise. The work walks in, the work walks out. No inventory, no stock price, no health inspectors.
And you would trade all of it in for your own shoe shine stand?
Fewer headaches that way.
So you're in one of those moods again. What is it this time? It can't be the market. It went up today.
Now you're reading the financial pages?
I have to entertain myself somehow. So what is it? You're acting very strange.
Am I? I'm sorry.
You can tell me,
Nothing to tell. Really. This is going to be our best year ever. To your health, my dear.
Buy the Radium Eclipse Sprayer. Quickly kills all flies, mosquitoes, roaches, has no equal as a cleaner of porcelain, tile, and furniture. Harmless to humans and easy to use.
Radithor, a cure-all medicine for fatigue, arthritis, neuritis, and other ailments. Sorry, I can't find anything under shop.
It's Rudolph.
Rudolph?
I'm here on behalf of Irene Rudolph, my cousin.
Did she file a complaint?
No, the dentist was supposed to. Dr. Flynn, she said she might have phosphorus poisoning. Phosphorus like they have in the match factories. She was supposed to file a complaint to the health department, but it's been 6 months, and It all happened so fast.
Phosphorus, you say? And Irene worked with you at the Radium Corporation.
All us girls.
Wait here.
Maybe it was a blood infection like Irene's doctor said.
But what could it be from?
You can't always know.
Her face puffed like a pumpkin, her jaw rotted so bad she couldn't eat no more. What happens when you in here asking after Grace? It's just a toothache, Catherine. That's how it started for Irene. Just you wait, Grace, soon you'll be so sick you can't stand up. Your jaw rots so fast you can't eat no more.
Stop it, Catherine. Come on.
Your face so swollen you can't stand the sight of yourself. Please stop. A toothache becomes a backache, and what else was you said, Grace? A sore leg that just won't quit.
Wait, what sore leg?
From my new job at the bank, from standing all day. It's not from the bank, and you know it. First Amelia, now Irene.
Now, Irene Rudolph?
That's it, yes.
The company is within all state health and labor regulations. See for yourself.
Paint is a harmless compound of radium and zinc.
A number of employees were screened. All of their blood work came back normal. It's a Harvard study.
I want to file another report. These folks seem awful busy. 3 surgeries, Grace, and they wanted to cut into her again. She said no. Her jaw rotted so bad I couldn't look at her. She died in the middle of the night, Grace. No one was with her.
I'm sorry. Can we file another report, please?
Is Miss Rudolph still sick?
She died.
Wait right here.
The power of radium is at your disposal. 23 years ago, radium was unknown. Today, thanks to constant laboratory work, the power of this most unusual element is at your disposal. Does Undark really contain radium? Most assuredly, it stores it safely and Miss Fryer. Dr. Flynn, awful nice of you to see me again. Not at all, my dear, not at all. My blood work? Ah, yes. Very good. I must say, Miss Fryer, your blood looks better than mine. It does? Oh, yes. That's what happens when you smoke too much, like me. Do you smoke, Miss Fryer? Oh, no, never. Good, good. So what else then is ailing you now? My feet and my back mostly. I've been in a back brace for about 6 months now. Oh, goodness. And this started before you left the radio company or after? After. And how long would you say that it's been? 2 years ago now. I see. My dentist, Dr. Neef, he says that this all has to do with the radium. I was friends with another girl who died of it. Irene Rudolph? Miss Rudolph. Yes. Terrible, terrible thing. Vincent's angina. That's a rare ulcerative condition of the mouth, my dear. From the radium? Goodness, no. Just a very unfortunate result of poor dental care. Let that be a lesson to you. Always brush your teeth. There was something else in the paper about some other girls, and I knew some of them who got sick. Miss Fryer! Don't tell me you're reading anything in those godforsaken newspapers. They are non-scientific, not not written by doctors. You must listen to science. Radium has nothing to do with what is ailing you. Then what is ailing me? Poor diet. Poor diet. What you have here is a vitamin deficiency, Miss Fryer. You must eat more fresh fruits. And raw meat as well will help with the anemia. Oh, no, Miss Fryer. I am a scientist. I take a purely scientific interest in your case. I thank you. In fact, call me anytime, day or night. All right, Dr. Flynn. Thank you. Of course, my dear. Dr. Fiona Flynn, Ph.D. Physiology, Columbia University, Ph.D. She's not a medical doctor. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we do not have to accept injustice. We use our power as consumers to influence those who wish to profit from our patronage. Thank you. Miss Wiley, I'm Grace Fryer. The health department said you might be able to help me out. Yes, Miss Fryer, I've been meaning to call upon you. Me and my friend Catherine, we wrote to the company about our troubles, but we never heard back. So we went to see a couple of lawyers.
But they all say it's too late.
Something about the law won't allow it. Yes, the statute of limitations. 2 years. One lawyer wanted $1,000 up front. I've already spent every penny I've saved for our wedding on doctors and dentists and hospitals, and I still don't know what's wrong.
Just need to compensate.
Do you think we could? Tell me, Miss Fryer, just how far are you willing to go with this? Suppose I do find a lawyer to take your case. And the company says here's some money. Only you should tell no one what we've agreed upon.
Confidential settlements?
Is it right?
But we consider our debts.
It's not right, but that's what they'll do. They'll try to buy your silence. Is it for sale? No, ma'am. Let's hit them where it matters the most. Public image. If every newspaper in America tells your story, you've suffered, and the company denies responsibility, Arthur Roeder will come to this table with his hat in his hand. Only you'll have to give up some of your privacy. For Catherine, for Irene, for Amelia, for the others! Hang on to that fire, Miss Fryer. Only make sure no one else sees it.
What do you mean, Miss Wiley?
The public doesn't have much sympathy for an angry woman. Public sympathy is her greatest weapon.
Arthur Roeder, an honest family man. These men work to ensure a better, brighter future. Radium will set you free.
December 4th, 1926. Jack Youngwood here, reporting for the Newark Ledger, Newark's first source of news. On the front lines of the strange case of the Radium Girls.
Photos prove their beauty, X-rays prove their doom. Nancy Jane Harlan in the New York Rapid. Radium Girls claim they were poisoned in the hands of their employer.
Ask me, it's all a sham.
What do you mean? Those girls are very sick.
Sick of working, sure. Doctors say the Radium Girls have only years to live.
Only years to live and $250,000 to spend.
Now what would you do with that kind of money?
What would you do with $250,000?
I'd buy a wardrobe like Irene Castle.
I'd give it all to charity.
I'd play the stock market.
I'd buy myself a diamond this size and I'm not sure.
I'd use it to pay my medical bills. Pay down the second mortgage on our house. The one my father took out to pay for my last operation.
Pretty Grace Fryer sits at home.
Just one more, Grace. Show your back brace.
Suffering bravely through this entire ordeal.
Grace, give us a wee smile if you can.
Knowing what they've been through and the company getting fat off of your labor.
Apparently all the executives have to say about it is
No comment.
Radium Girls bonded together.
Against all odds and the quickening of time.
What a fine example of womanhood. We can only aspire to bear our cross in life as nobly as these young workers.
Miss Barry, I've been in this business for a very long time. I can assure you, whoever lawyer tries this case in the papers, he doesn't have much of a case.
What's your suggestion then, Mr. Lehman?
$1,500 for each of the girls.
That's not even a year's wages.
We think it's very generous considering that your case won't even survive the statute of limitations.
We believe the court will find that it does.
2 years from the date of injury, your clients are simply out of time.
2 years from the date the cause of the injury was discovered.
Very creative, Miss Mary. You've still got a long way to go before you convince any judge. And in the meantime, with those newspaper articles, who's really exploiting these girls?
Radium. Come get your radium. Doesn't cost much. Only a few dimes. Only your labor. Only your life.
Maybe I should go. You need to rest.
Pray to sleep. I might not wake up.
You cut that out, Catherine. Just look at all this mail you got. Miss Wiley said folks would be on our side, and she was sure right.
What happens when I can't even make it to the courtroom? What if we don't win?
We'll bring the trial to you, and we will win.
What if we don't? We'll be on the streets, you and Tom. You won't ever get that house you're going for.
Catherine, all you've got to do is get on the stand. Just you think about the look on Mr. Roeder's face when the judge rules for us.
They didn't have enough vanilla. I didn't know what else to get you.
Good evening, girls. Sir, I want a picture.
Hey now.
We need pictures for the graphics exclusive.
What exclusive? Who let you in here?
2,000 each. Sound good to you? Perhaps you're familiar with Bernard McFadden, the herbalist and healer. McFadden has this patented herbal therapy that might be just what you girls need to get back on your feet. And the graphic will pay for it so long as we have the exclusive rights to the story from here on out.
Easy money, huh? Let me see that contract. Grace, how much does your father still owe on the house?
I don't.
These hospital bills.
All we have to do is talk to this herbalist fella?
I'd like you to go now. My friend is very tired. She needs her rest.
At least think about it, Gracie.
Well, here's my card again. I'm the real deal. Why should you sit back and keep your nose clean when everyone else is up to their elbows in it?
You girls can cash in on this. Anyone would sympathize with the plight of facing certain death, but no fulfillment in motherhood.
Please go.
Thank you.
Do you believe in miracles? The U.S. Radium Corporation believes that they can change lives. But don't walk to be a part of this worldwide phenomenon.
Gentlemen, I've had a number of girls come to me saying they got sick in your employ. One of the girls' jawbone was wrong to the point that I was able to pick it out of her mouth with my hand.
That's all right, Dr. Flynn. You can put that away.
And perhaps you prefer these x-rays I have here? I'll have you know this was not a cheap case to cover, and I never was compensated for it.
We can sympathize, but what does that have to do with us?
I'll cut to the chase. There's going to be more girls with more injuries, more illnesses, and more lawsuits. But I'm willing to make a bargain. So here it is. You give me your list of girls you employ, and I'll see to it that there won't be any more lawsuits started.
You think you can cure them?
No. Now, I could give them a once-over and provide a more favorable diagnosis. Pyorrhea, sarcoma, mesothelioma. It would get them off their back.
You persuade them not to sue.
Yes. Several will die of natural causes, and the rest will be put off until the statute of limitations kicks in.
And why would these girls come to you?
Any girl would come to another woman in situations like these, especially if she's offering a free consultation.
Because we'd be paying you.
It seems you're speaking the same language, Mr. Voter. $10,000 for my troubles so far, and $200 for every treatment from here on out. Mind you will still have to cover my expenses, but
Absolutely not. Your proposal is immoral, and we want no part of it.
immoral. You're a fine one to be going on about morals. You have your own hard guns ready to testify no matter who you're up against, even when you are opposing a woman who has no idea what she's doing.
Those are expert witnesses.
Foolish men blinded by dirty money who are like it.
Who's this? Dr. Flynn, but she's just leaving.
You know what? Fine. If you won't listen to another business person who knows what she's about, someone else will take advantage of this case. Someone else will take advantage of my expertise, and I'll come out a good deal richer no matter how you two fools slice it.
Charlie, Dan, I want you to make statements on what happened here today for the State Dental Society.
Maybe we shouldn't be so quick. We can retain her as an expert.
Flynn isn't the problem. It's Von Sashaki.
He's planning to testify for the girls.
You better pray this stops in civil court, because if it comes to criminal charges.
Criminal charges?
Drinker's report.
It was proprietary. We were under no obligation to share
We
it.
share it. The Department of Labor. We sit what they needed to see. Right, Arthur? My goodness.
Scientists, government men, they have no idea what it takes to run a business. Von Sashaki laughed at the very idea of promotion. But look at us. We are the world's largest supplier of radium. They have no idea what it takes to run a successful business. Look how far we've come. We just need some time to set this right.
Roeder stated the study cleared the company. They manipulated the report.
I believe Arthur Ritter wrote a single page listing the blood conditions of only the healthiest employees and passed it off as the whole thing. Going back to the autopsy reports, this is much bigger than I first imagined.
I'm not going to wait 3 months to make use of this. Let's call your friends in the New York World. If Roeder won't let us present our evidence in the courtroom, we can read about it in the newspaper. If your doctor doesn't endorse radium, he's no doctor at all. Trust only the best, the U.S. Radium Corporation.
Very bad.
You didn't read it?
I make a point not to these days.
At the club today, someone actually said to me, "Is it true? Your husband really poisoned all those women?" I said, "Miss Middleton, if you think it's true, why would you associate with me?"
What do you want me to say, Diane? I knew we were poisoning people, but we didn't want to stop because we were making too much money?
Is it true?
Is that what you think?
What would you like me to think?
For goodness sake, Diane! Can't you see what's going on here? It's Von Sashaki. He's jealous of our success, and he's feeding information to the Consumers League. Bunch of radical women, do-gooders, half of them Reds, probably socialists. Same thing with that club you belong to. You're going to quit that club.
Quit the club? You're not making any sense.
I have a fiduciary duty to this company.
I can't listen to this.
Diane, I have documents, articles, people with tumors the size of baseballs. Radium therapy, the tumors disappear.
I'm tired. I'm going upstairs.
You can't really think I'm a liar, Diane. You can't really believe that I would set out to poison people.
But 13 have died so far.
People die every day.
But they all worked for you.
They also work other places. I have a report from Columbia University, Fiona Flynn, who says that there is no connection between our plant and those illnesses. Please say you believe me, Diane. If you don't believe me, there's no point in anything.
Arnie,
We save lives.
you save lives.
It's all for you. You know that, don't you? Everything I do always has been. Please don't let that be another reporter.
Dan, what could be so urgent at this hour?
It's Charlie. Arthur, he's dead.
What are you talking about?
But we just saw him yesterday.
He died this morning.
But they were just here. Charlie and Luis were just here.
We've done an autopsy. Found severe anemia. Now the records running it all over page 1.
Poor Luis. We have to go see her. We have to go right now.
No, I would not do that if I were you.
Why ever not? Her husband was gardening last week and is dead tonight.
Luis is planning to sue.
Yeah. Give us a few minutes. Diane.
You're going to get rid of this.
Arthur Roeder, an honest family man. Dan Lehman, an intelligent business tycoon. Charlie Lee, deceased.
Tell you what we should have done. We should have taken that reporter up when we had the chance. That's what we should have done.
$5,000? Don't make me laugh.
We should have talked her up. Because I'll tell you what, Grace. They pay. And I'll tell you another thing we should have done.
Stop telling me what we should have done.
Right. Keep your shirt on.
What do you think? The red or the blue? I like the red, but it doesn't fit so good these days.
What if the company came up with $5,000? Would you take it then?
Let them come up. I'm not caving in.
It's called a settlement.
Just another way for them to hide.
Grace, what are we doing here? I thought the whole idea was you settle your debts, find a better doctor, and we get on with things.
Get on with things?
You're still wearing my ring.
Well, Tommy.
Look, Grace, there's a house in my brother's neighborhood up for sale. 2 rooms up, 2 rooms down. It's not much, but it's a start. You'll like it. It's already got flowered up wallpaper. Best of all, it's only 3 blocks from the school.
What do we need with the school?
Plan ahead for once.
Tommy, what do you think is going to happen? After all of this is over, did you think everything would go back to the way it was? I've got to see the surgeon again. I've got some fluid.
Okay.
Then he says there'll be more.
Grace, we'll deal with that when it comes.
And still more. Why can't you see that? How can you talk about buying a house and getting married when you know there's nothing?
Grace, I just want us to be together right now. I want to come home to you at night, to my wife, my home. Look, Grace, I love you, okay? No, Grace, come on now.
I should have done this a long time ago.
You're not getting enough rest.
Tommy, please don't make me say it.
You just need some sleep.
Tommy?
You get some sleep. I'll be back to see you tomorrow.
Don't do this to me! Tommy! February 21st, 1928. From the desk of the Chief Medical Examiner, Essex County, New Jersey. With the blessings of her family, we've exhumed and examined the remains of the deceased Amelia Mejia, buried September 1922. Our study reveals the following. Radioactive substances have been found in large quantities in upper jaw, throat, lumbar vertebrae. Lower jaw missing. Absolutely no evidence of syphilis found. Body's radioactive! New evidence shows company lied. Fiona Flynn, the doctor who examined Amelia, has turned over large portions of the jawbone she removed from her. This x-ray film shows the bone still radioactive 5 years after the girl died. The founder of the Radium Corporation broke his long silence at this shocking announcement.
Radium is the most dangerous substance known to man.
Did you assist in the autopsy?
John, I was able to determine if Mejia absorbed enough radium to kill 2 people.
What does this say about bioradium therapy?
Radium is responsible for the deaths of these 4 girls. It should be considered a most dangerous substance.
Do you agree with the doctor's prognosis? The girls will only a year to live?
Sebi doesn't do that long.
Sweetheart, wake up. It's almost 4 o'clock and Mr. Lehman will be here any minute.
Did Miss Wiley come by?
She's going to stop by. They took Catherine back to the hospital last night. If she dies, it's over.
I'll tell you what, sweetheart. When we get that check and you pay the bank and the doctor, there'll still be plenty left for you and Tom. Tell him you get started.
Nothing to start, Mom.
Why do you have to be so hard on him? Can't you see he just can't stand the thought of you not being with us?
I have to face it. Why can't he?
Do something with your hair, Grace.
$250,000. What would you do with all of that money, Miss Fryer? Why, I can't imagine. Ma, you didn't tell me about the mail. They just keep writing, don't they? She was here. Mom, Miss Wiley was here. She left me a note.
Mr. Lehman is here to see you, sweetheart.
Grace Fryer, Dr. Dan Lehman, Counsel of the U.S. Radium Corporation.
Ma said you were bringing me some papers.
Yes, terms right here. $5,000 to your name. All we need is your signature.
This is a confidential settlement.
That's right.
Grace, Mr. Lehman is a busy man.
Mr. Lehman, what's contributory negligence?
I'm not sure what you're asking.
That's what you said in court. Contributory negligence means it's our fault, don't it?
Maybe you could just come at a later time, Mr. Lehman.
Maybe he can just answer my question.
Maybe I should come back later.
They told us what to do, how to do it, and I didn't make any trouble. I wasn't raised that way. I did what I was told. How did you get contributory negligence out of that?
I deeply regret your situation, Miss Fryer. There is no evidence to tie your condition to any action by the U.S. Radium Corporation.
Then why are you giving me this money?
A humanitarian gesture.
Month after month you've put us off. Delay after delay. Humanitarian gesture? You've been waiting for us to die! Grace!
Very well, Miss Fryer. I'll be seeing you in court.
You call that man back!
All of my life I have done what other people have told me to do. I never said, please can't I just finish school? I never said I didn't like the taste of paint, even though I knew, Mom, I knew something wasn't right. At night I'd see my dress, all aglow, my shoes, my hairbrush, on the dresser. That glowing powder, they never once questioned, don't you see? They knew I wouldn't. They were counting on it.
Radium, if you do right by us, we will do right by you.
I left messages with your housekeeper. I know you got the messages.
As we're no longer in business together, I thought it best not to respond.
You invented the paint, and you didn't know that it was dangerous. How can you lie like that?
I didn't know till it was too late.
You were the technical man. I was the salesman.
And a good one at that. Always you could find ways to cut the cost without losing the quality. Why not you have some tea?
Your fingers, have you been dipping them in ink?
How fond of a pretty story you are. If only it's free. Dr. Martin has mixed presses in the tissue. The dye painters in the dark starts. Yes, with me, it's a hands.
How long have you,
Dr. Martin asked me to assist in testing the dye paint of radium exposure. Zones and nature can do now. Measure that kind of thing. I didn't think the girls get sick from working with my paint. Maybe to help. We conducted an expired airfare test on them. And it was then that I found out. They're my own breath registered radioactive. You did notice the glowing dust on your shoes when you went home last night?
how could I miss it? I tracked it all over the house.
You can be sure that a great deal of it is now in your lungs. Look, media?
Our promotional piece, yes,
How many sales did that book account for?
it launched our medical market.
Page 92.
So that's chapter.
Radium. Dangerous effects.
How many articles in it, Sept? 10? 15?
About 18, it looks like.
The first one. What is the date?
1906.
1906. Here, let me see. When you go to court, you plan to testify that you had no idea radium was dangerous. How can you do that, Arthur? When your own book says it was. How can you claim you did not know?
I never really read it. I hired someone to put it together. I never read the book.
How do you mean you never read the book?
It was a standard arrangement. An outside company prepared the piece. They were responsible for content.
It has your name on it. You authorized the book's release and you had final approval. You testified that you started at the U.S. Radium Corporation in 1918.
Yes, as plant manager.
And you held this position for how long?
4 years.
4 years. And in those 4 years, how often did you venture into the studio?
Every day.
Every day. So you must have observed the girls pointing their brushes to their lips.
I don't recall.
You were in the studio every day and you never once saw a girl put a brush to her mouth?
I said, I don't recall.
No more questions for the witness at this time, Your Honor.
Your Honor, may I approach? I have a very full schedule. The 2 other cases pending, the key witness in the U.S. Radium Corporation case will not be available until the end of this summer.
Your Honor!
I'm sorry, Your Honor, but our chief expert, Dr. Flynn, is associated with a higher institution of learning in London, and I cannot expect her to appear.
Mr. Lehman is responsible for that situation!
Surely! You will not force us to make our defense in trial without our key witness present.
This hearing is adjourned.
Grace, that man, Miss Wiley, he wouldn't look at me. He never looked at me.
Doesn't matter, Miss. You heard me.
My aunt gave me a box of newspaper clippings, letters, court documents before she died. This is what happened to us, she said.
When we would go home at night, our dresses would shine in the dark, like watches in the dark room, as though we were the timepieces counting down the hours.
They glowed like ghosts, walking home through the streets of Orange, New Jersey.
They exhumed my sister's body in 1978. Her bones were 1,000 times more radioactive than what is considered safe, and her jawbone was missing. The company doctor removed it before we could get to her.
Researchers followed the radium girls through the years, witnessing the long-term effects of internal radiation. Ones who survived did not escape, but lived with radium poisoning, suffering from
bone cancer,
leukemia,
Anemia,
Sarcoma. Osteoporosis.
Sarcoma.
Amputations.
Sarcoma.
Chronic pain.
Sarcoma.
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 My grandmother tied a rope to a chain link fence and taught us how to jump rope with her one arm. She told us stories of her dad painter friends anytime we asked, the ones she lost.
We'd have a bit of fun with the last bit of paint at the end of our workday. We'd paint mustaches on each other and turn off the lights. A few girls even painted their teeth that glow.
My cousin, born in 1930, weighed only 10 pounds by the time she turned 1, small and sickly her whole life, and most of the Radium girls couldn't have children at all. We, the jury, find that died of radium poisoning absorbed while they worked at the U.S. Radium Corporation.
Radium girls.
Ghost girls.